Welcome to the Shearwood Games Irregular update, a new exciting format where you have to look at my face. This is going to be part of a new series where I'm going to try and get one of these update videos out once a fortnight to explain the work that's going on as we enter the start of the final phases of trying to get Solar Dominion and its related media out to the world and into your hands. This is primarily to try and keep myself accountable, and I'm hoping that this newer format with limited or no required editing or animation will make it easier to actually stick to this. I've been having some reasonable success live streaming some work I've been doing, either painting or building AMDF kits, and so I feel like I might be able to succeed at this if I try filming these on the odd weeks and live streaming on the even ones. So, on to the actual update. You may have noticed that a couple of weeks ago I released the Solar Dominion playtesting pack on Gumroad as a free download. Massive thanks to everyone who's downloaded it, and amazing thanks to the small number of people who put a number that wasn't zero in the price field. That was a massive validation. Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge that the playtest pack and the rulebook that I put up isn't perfect. I know there are some issues in there. Some of them, fixes will be coming fairly shortly for that. Others I still need to work on, but I would love to hear feedback from any of you who have downloaded it and read it, and hell, if you tried to play the game as it exists in the book. Drop me an email, send me a message on Facebook, stop me on the street, though please don't actually just stop me on the street unannounced, but if you are in Nottingham and you would like to talk face to face about it, send me a message and we can arrange something. Kind of on that, just this weekend I finished filming a gameplay video with Fox from Foxbox Miniatures, and I just started doing the editing work to turn that into a rules explanation video to try and show in a visual format how the game plays, to give people more of an idea of what the game's like and what it's about. This, along with the other testing that's been ongoing over the last couple of weeks and months, seems to really be proving that the game is almost there. The rules are tight, the experience is enjoyable, but it's also making it quite clear that if the game's going to have any legs, it needs more than just the small number of ships that were previously planned for the initial release. How this is going to look is still up for debate, but I am looking to make sure that the initial rules for the game's third faction are ready, and I'm hoping to add probably 2 ships to each faction to make sure that there's the variety on launch, to make sure that people will want to keep playing the game. Moving on, you may have noticed my posts on Twitter and Facebook about Protospiel Nottingham. Protospiel Nottingham was the first Protospiel in the UK, and it's a playtesting event that's run all over the United States and I think in other countries. Moving on, you might have seen the posts on Facebook and Twitter about Protospiel Nottingham, or my blog post on the Shearwood Games website last week. Protospiel Nottingham was the first UK Protospiel event, a playtesting event for designers and playtesters where people can bring along new and in progress board games to try and get critical feedback on. Protospiel Nottingham had about 60 attendees and it raised nearly £1,000 for charity. I met a bunch of amazing people, I played a handful of great games, and I took along a prototype of a spin-off board game from Solar Dominion I've been calling Solar Dominion Fleet Combat. It's a strategic area control game where two players fight over a moving solar system. It's been something that's been in my head for a couple of years now, and a couple of months ago I got the final burst of inspiration to figure out how the game would physically work. The reception it's received, both when I shared the game on Reddit and at Protospiel, have been nothing short of amazing, and once again I'd profusely like to thank the people who took time out of their day to give it a go. But this is all leading towards my plan to try and release the game on Kickstarter in January as part of Kickstarter's Make 100 program. 100 copies of the game will be made available, which will be handmade from laser cut materials. And it is my hope that over the next 2 months I can refine the game and provide enough material and reason for people to back it, that I can make this a success and turn this into a stepping stone to bring Solar Dominion, both the miniatures game and the fictional universe, to a much greater audience. So you might be wondering, how is this, along with the revelation that the miniatures side of Solar Dominion needs more work, going to affect any timeline for getting mainline Solar Dominion out to the world? Well, some of the work between Solar Dominion miniatures game and Solar Dominion Fleet Combat are shared. For instance, the work writing the fiction that will go in the rulebook will be shared between both games. Same goes for any rulebook art, and a number of the assets for the game itself can be reused in one form or another. But it does mean that instead of, as I've been talking to a number of people, hoping to get a Solar Dominion miniatures game Kickstarter announced late this year, early next year, it is probably going to be closer to end of Q1, early Q2, once the fulfillment for the Fleet Combat Kickstarter is complete, that I'll be talking about doing a proper release for the miniatures game. In terms of other work, you probably noticed that I've dipped my toes back in MDF scenery design again. Those of you who've been around for a while will remember that this is something I used to do, and this is actually what Aether Firma, the precursor to Shearwood Games, started out doing. This time it's a little bit different. I'm focusing on the kits that I want to make and the kits that I want to see, rather than trying to build a broad base of stuff that I thought would sell. And so far it's working out pretty well. Again, I'll stick a link to the Nordic scenery sets in the description, and there's possibly going to be some micro scale, sort of 6-10 mm scale buildings coming relatively soon, because I would like them for my own personal hobby purposes, and it seems rude not to give the rest of you a chance to have some if I've got the files and they're available. I am looking at alternative options for making them available, and I'll have some big news on that front hopefully later this month or early in the new year, so keep your eyes peeled. And this is all ways for you to support Shearwood Games, and sort of all of this helps move everything forward and giving me more resources and allowing me to dedicate more time towards this. As we come up on the end of the video, I would like to end this with a massive thank you and apology. I'm so incredibly grateful for the support that everyone has shown me for Solar Dominion, the MDF scenery, and Shearwood Games in general. I couldn't have done this without the support you've shown and the patience you've shown. I'm more than anyone else brutally aware of how slowly sometimes the work has been, how many setbacks there have been. And it's my hope that 2020 will be the year of Shearwood Games. It will be the year that I will finally be able to bring so much of the stuff I've been working on for the past couple of years to fruition and get stuff into your hands. At the moment, I still have to balance all of this with my day job, and that's going to be the case for the foreseeable future. But in the last 6 months since I've moved to Nottingham, I think I've managed to get more done than in the last year. It has been amazing to have the community of other designers, other creatives around me, and whilst I'm sure that had I sort of looked harder, I might have been able to find that in London, but specific shout out to James and Sophie from Needy Cat Games, who run the Nottingham Industry Tabletop Collective, who've been a massive wealth of resources and camaraderie, especially over the last couple of months. 2020 is going to be the year of Solar Dominion. It's with your help and support that we can make this a reality. Thank you very much for sticking with me this long. Thank you very much for watching this video.